This is the NFL on EA Sports, and we are in the Pacific Northwest at CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington. This crowd, as we've come to expect in recent years, as loud as any in the NFL, and they get even louder when their Seahawks are introduced. We're ready for football as the Seahawks get set to do battle with the Baltimore Ravens. Justin Tucker set to boom this one away, and off we go from Seattle. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line.
At their own 27-yard line.
Set, 280. Here we go.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
The opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Check 50.
We don't like the 48 right now. Let's go. Hey, that's good.
From the gun, it's Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And this will be caught at the 30. It's a big play there for Seattle. 49 yards. All right, Charles, let me put you in the head of one of those defenders out there. You have a big play like that go against you so early. What does that shake your confidence?
It shouldn't, but it often does, because your thought process all during the week is how you're going to get after that offense and make your plays. And when they make one against you, makes you a little bit hesitant.
Time to regroup. On first down, it's Carson fighting ahead at the 15. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Chris Carson, 27 yards. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. 3 plays already in the end zone. That was quick.
We always talk about offenses understanding what they want to do before they go into a game, and they practice it. They have their script and the plays they want to open with. But defenses aren't just reactive. They have their own ideas as well. These ideas didn't get implemented very well. 3 plays and a touchdown already scored against them.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They go play action with Jackson on the move to his left. And he'll be out right at the 35. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They run for the first time with Justice Hill, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
It's a loss of 2. Brings up 2nd and 12 at the 33-yard line.
On 2nd and 12, Jackson. Flushed out right. He's got it to Ingram, complete. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. They'll go with Hill here on 1st down. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
So they got him coming up from his linebacker spot.
And sometimes the position designation really doesn't matter. If you creep up to the line of scrimmage, you just have to look for the football. Make sure it moves before you do.
And now they face a 2nd and 6 after the penalty.
Man, I got you. Man, I got you.
Jackson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at about the 31. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. How about the big boys snagging one? You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. It's a gain of 12, 1st down Seahawks. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open.
Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Josh Bynes gets him for a loss of 5. He is so tough to handle on the blitz, and that's Exhibit A. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Here's Wilson. He'll find Metcalf. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
Bang out,
3rd and long. It's Wilson. He's got Lockett. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. First time these two have hooked up this afternoon, and it's a first down.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on first and 10. From the shotgun, Wilson. He'll let this go for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, and that'll bring up second down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Second and 10 now, Wilson. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That one good for a first down pickup of 18 yards. They'll run on first down. Carson, and they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. A loss of 2 there. Second down. Bear in mind, that wasn't a big lineman back there for the tackle for loss. That was a cornerback.
So are you saying the myth has been shattered? That all of them are not just cover corners? Some of them actually will stick their nose in and tackle when necessary? That's what we just saw, isn't it?
36 to Mike. And what?
40.
On second and 12, Wilson, and he's going to go down. They sack him back right around the 30.
But nothing takes a start to have a good drive, quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a third and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Wilson to the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's third and long here. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Picked off by the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
At their own 4-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
At the 5-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's second and 9.
Here we go, D. It's just me and you. It's just me. 54 is Mike. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. I'm here all day.
Jackson from the shotgun. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up third.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. From the gun, it's Jackson. This one complete to Ingram. And he's dropped just shy of the 25 at the 24. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Let's go, Ty. Let's go right here now.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Raven football here as we begin quarter number 2. As they've got it with a first and 10.
It's Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4. Mike's 5-4. Bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it.
Now a first down carry. It's Hill. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
55. 55. Mike's 50. Mike's 50. Yeah. 50's the mark. 50's the mark. Let's pick it up. It's out time, guys. Out time. Let's get off the field.
Now it's Jackson. And Jackson cannot get away, and he'll go down with a sack. It's Ziggy Ansah. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's really a difficult task.
Here's Jackson escaping the pressure right. Now he'll let it go deep into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner.
Well, I get what he was trying to do. He was moving to his right and trying to shift the coverage, but instead he shifted the coverage also to the right and threw right into it for an interception.
They'll start out on the ground with Carson, and he'll only get a yard, maybe 2, up to the 46.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they were hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8.
I don't even know why this team showed up. Go. Motion. 58, boys, 58.
Throwing is Wilson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. It's a first down on a gain of 10. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they really liked about him. The way he goes after the football, competes for it, and decides when it's in the air, it's his and only his.
Wilson on target there to Moore. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
First and 10 at the 22-yard line.
Move the team.
57 to Mike. You're not ready. Gun. Check Mike 57. Mike good.
To throw is Wilson, operating from the gun. Now he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
Here we go.
Here's Wilson to throw. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's 3rd down.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
$58 for Mike. 58 for Mike. Y'all not ready.
Left pass.
Now Wilson. From the gun, he'll throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And to the 12. That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line. Well, Charles, 18 of the 32 teams have now played 8 games, half their season. The other 14 will reach the midway point next week, so we'll save the midseason grades and awards until then. But
Thank you. I like that.
We'll wait on that. But let's look at a few underperforming teams thus far that have played 8 games, and you tell me what you think their final record's going to be. Now, let's start with the Chargers at 3-5.
Big win in Chicago on Sunday. I like them to go 5-3 down the stretch, and that gives them 8 wins. Actually, have them go 6-2. I think they're going to go 9-7.
Ooh, right there on the edge of the playoffs. Okay, let's stay in the AFC West. How about the Broncos at 2-6 right now?
I just don't see that offense improving. I think that they win 2 more games and go 4-12.
Okay. And Giants 2-6. They're underperforming.
Yeah, but their schedule really lightens up on the back end. They're playing hard. I'm going to give them 6 wins, 6-10.
Lastly, and I might duck under the table when you answer this one, the Falcons at 1-7.
That's a tough one because I wonder about what's going to happen with their head coach. But I think they'll play better down the stretch. 4 wins, 4-12.
You're off the hot seat, my friend.
Thank you.
From the gun on 3rd down, Jackson. And he's got Snead. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8.
Here we go, D. All day, defense, all day, all day. Shit, watch the shit. Watch out. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. You must be Jermaine. Switch.
Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. There goes Mark Ingram. The 20, 10, 5, and he is down deep into Seattle territory. A big effort that time out of Ingram. 61 yards that time on the ground. Two minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes' time, we'll hand you off to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman will have highlights and analysis of this first half of action. This is Edwards, and he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard on the pickup there, 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Only 3 yards there on the completion. That'll lead to a 3rd and goal.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
He's crossing. He's checking.
They'll look to run with Ingram. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Taking it in from 2 yards out as they are now on the board here in the first half. Able to punch it in on 3rd down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
Tucker with the extra point, and that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he'll probably wish he'd reconsidered here. It will cost him 10 yards as he's down at the 15.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
They'll begin the drive with Carson. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Let's go.
Now Wilson. It's complete to Lockett. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Just right.
Come on out here. Come get some.
Guys, 4 down.
Come on here. Come get some.
Just right.
Now it's Wilson. He's going to float this one deep right side. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey.
You hear me laughing, partner, and I'm not laughing at the situation, but sometimes you just get yourself into a rut. It's hard to shake yourself out of it.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And we're under a minute to go here in what's been an even first half, all tied up.
Yeah, still time to make something happen, too. A couple completions, just string them together. Could get into field goal range. Let's see what happens.
The drive starts here with a carry by Ingram. And able to find a little space. He gets this up over the 15 to the 16. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Jackson now. He's going to wind up and air it out. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Quandre Diggs. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 48-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. A new life now following the late turnover. Maybe a chance for points here before the break.
Yeah, pretty nice situation they find themselves in because they're really maybe one completion away from giving their kicker a shot. And that gives them a chance to get some points up on the board.
Brings up 2nd and 4. at the 47-yard line.
Six yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
They can't hang with us. 12. 58 to Mike. 58 to Mike. Target.
Here's Wilson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
After the interception, here's Jackson. Roberts has it. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Jackson now, 5 out of 10, 50% throwing it. Not so hot, but he does have a first down. Now it's Jackson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Trey Flowers picks it. And a potential turning point as they'll get the football in very good field position late in this first half.
Intercepted. The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
Mike, 58, right there. All day.
On first down, it's Carson. And we're going to get a timeout with 2 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. So with 2 ticks left here in the half, on is the field goal unit. They'll put it down right at the 40, so call this a 50-yard attempt. And Myers able to knock it through, and that will finish off this 3rd quarter of play. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Thank you, sir. A field goal separates these 2 teams as we come back for this 2nd half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the 2nd half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. They run. It's Mark Ingram. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Edwards now on 1st and 10. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the Seahawks 39-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. And now Jackson will look to throw it. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 24-yard line. They'll run on 1st down. It's Hill. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Here we go. Here we go. Touchdown. 50. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
On 2nd and 9, Jackson. And now here's another interception. Picked off down at the 2. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran a wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things. Bottom line, though, it comes back to the guy throwing them.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 3-yard line.
Line 90.
They're not ready for this, man. They're not ready for this. They still playing soccer.
Hey, look.
Football.
Hey, 0, 0, 0.
Tighten up. Pull it together. Hey, alert 48. Alert. Hey, we're going to mic the 48 right now. Let's go.
Alert.
Now Wilson down around his goal line. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down.
Check 48's the mic. Let's go, D. It's going to be a long day offense.
From the gun, it's Wilson. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by the former Husky, Marcus Peters. Well, they were obviously backed up, had a little bit of space from the goal line, snapping it from the 3, but still trying to throw it, and...
Yeah, exactly. This is where hindsight is 20/20 comes into play, right? Seems like a good idea to throw the ball there. Maybe you'll surprise him and catch him off guard. Instead, you've created a turnover and put your defense in a bad spot.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Let's go, defense. Our time. It's our time.
On 2nd and 7, Jackson. He's going to find his tight end, Boyle. And he'll get it down this time to the 17. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
A rough go there on 3rd down, a loss of 4.
Brings up 4th down.
So on 4th down, here's the Ravens Pro Bowl kicker, Justin Tucker, out onto the field. Right hash, 37-yard attempt. Tucker's kick is good. And that will knot us up at 10. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
This is taken at the 3. He's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Let's go. 25. That's it.
On 2nd and 9, Wilson. It's caught. Lockett. And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target.
Well, he's into the clear. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. DK Metcalf, 66 yards, as his guys are able to regain the lead. So on 3rd and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that makes it a 17-10 score. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They find themselves down 17-10 as they come up on a 1st and 10. They'll run with Ingram here to begin the drive. And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. Jackson now 8 of 15 through the air, but it's 1st and 10 here. This is Ingram. It was Jaron Reed who got him down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
2nd and 7. Jackson buying time to his left. That's into the hands of the tight end, Boyle. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Ravens with possession of the football, but trailing on the big board as we get set for the fourth. The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Ingram. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Again, they'll run with Ingram. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Let's go now. Pittsburgh. Focus, defense, focus. Alert flare.
A 10th carry here for Mark Ingram. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. On 2nd and 7, Jackson eluding the pressure right. Got a man, it's Brown. And here he'll get it down to the 7. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Now Jackson being chased out left. He may try, and he will score. Touchdown, Baltimore. Taking it in from 7 yards away as they can now even this game here in the 4th quarter with the extra point. Don't forget the extra point. It's up and good. And, partner, we've got a tie game here in the 4th. (17-17) the score. All even to this point as the kick's away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offensive tunnel.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense get the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
First and 10 at the 46-yard line.
Wilson now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
Check curls. Mike 48. Watch the slant. Alert.
Now it's Carson. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Come on, D. Check.
They run again with Carson. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And this is caught. He hits more. They give him 27 yards on the 3rd down conversion. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 27. Here's Carson. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11. Now Wilson. They'll run the screen with Carson. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up 3rd down.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them, ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. 3 points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. From the 24, Jackson. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down.
I think normally we would talk about this more with basketball players and football players, but let's adopt it in this case. He's a stat sheet stuffer.
Had the interception earlier, now a sack. What, he just needs a touchdown for the trifecta.
That's about all he needs, and he's going to go for it.
Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens.
Right there, 54, right there.
Throwing now is Jackson. Forced out to his left. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Jadeveon Clowney showing the explosiveness on the sack. One score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. He's back to throw. He's going to let it fly. And, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And this one will be returned to right around the 38-yard line.
And that one, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. This is Carson. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Ravens going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in the 4th. Wilson to the Seahawks looking for something big following the sack. It's 3rd and long here. They run it with Carson. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the 1st at the 32. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game. And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down.
Check 48's the mic. Check 48's the mic. Army. 48's the mic. 48's mic.
They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Jihad Ward. And the Ravens are going to get the football back. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you get a decision. Are you in field goal range, or is it Hail Mary time? Because from 7 seconds down, you don't want to take a shot that you're going to have another play.
We'll see how they handle it. Here's Jackson. Steps away to his left. And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still... You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.